pressure gets higher and the spotlight brighter.
We are live from Twin Rinks Ice Pavilion for the SHL Game of the Week on YouTube Live. Good evening, everybody, and welcome into tonight's broadcast for this first-round playoff matchup.
Now is the time. It's all or nothing. Now comes someone else's time.
We are live from Addison Ice Arena for SHL playoff action. Game 3, Glenbrook North and York. Somebody will have their SHL season come to an end tonight. Good evening, everybody, and welcome into tonight's broadcast with Dylan Ward down on ice level, Andrew Rubin to my left. I am Max Anderson, and along with our all-star technical crew, we'll have all of the live game action for you here from Addison. Andrew, this series tied 1-1. It all comes down to a pivotal Game 3, and for GBN, they get a huge piece back.
Yeah, here in the Scholastic Hockey League, very clearly 3-game series for the playoffs. Two best words you can hear in this Scholastic Hockey League is Game 3. You can feel the energy inside of it. It smells like playoff hockey inside of the building. Going to be a great one here tonight, Max. Josh Jenin, as we see him right now in warm-ups for GBN. Huge addition for GBN, coming back from an upper body injury. He's got 25 points in 23 SHL games here, and let's talk to the GBN coaching staff alone. They will tell you how high impact of a player
Certainly
he is.
adds to the firepower. For more on how GBN is going to look to win this Game 3, we'll send it down to ice level, where Dylan Ward standing by with GBN head coach Evan Pulakitis. Dylan.
Thanks, Max. Coach Michael Raderman puts up 38 saves on 39 shots in Game 2 on Wednesday. He gets the nod tonight. What'd you like from him on Wednesday?
Well, he controlled all his rebounds. He didn't leave any pucks out, and they're really good at finding pucks around the net. They play hard in front of the net, and you got to be able to corral pucks, and he did a great job.
All right, so looking at this series, you guys do force this Game 3 on Wednesday with that 2-1 win. What worked on Wednesday, and what are you going to carry over into tonight?
Well, we were much cleaner coming out of our zone. We changed our defensive coverage, and it seemed to work. Hopefully we get the same kind of response. And look, against him, against Kazmarek, you got to get to the front of the net. We did a really good job of doing that on Wednesday. So, look, it's exciting. The kids are, excited. I'm nervous. Everyone's excited. So, look, it should be a good hockey game.
All right, Coach, best of luck. Guys, back up to you.
Thank you, Dylan. And you always love the candid Evan Pulakitis. He's honest, a little bit nervous, right? How could you not be a Game 3 elimination game in the SHL? Talk about GBN having an amazing offensive season between Aiden Siegel, Owen Just, Josh Jenin coming back. So many pieces across. For them, it really comes down to the defensive end and goaltending.
Absolutely, Max. And you didn't even mention Michael Dimoff, who's third in the SHL in points for the season as well. They have the offensive firepower you mentioned. Just can they commit defensively? Can they get the goaltending needed to win a game like this? On the other hand, York, awesome defensively all season long. Adam Kazmarek, one of the top goaltenders in the state and the league. Can't say enough good things about them, the system that they play. They actually won the first 4 meetings against GBN this year until GBN got their most recent win, their 5th attempt here against York.
Yeah, you mentioned it, a clean sweep in the regular season for York against this GBN squad. It was a 5-2 win all the way back in October, a 5-1 win in the middle of January, and the second to final regular season game for GBN, they blew them out 6-1. So it was a domination in the regular season from York. Carried it right into Game 1 where they had that big win in Game 1. GBN showed some fight tonight, Game 3. Throw it all out. It's all about Game 3.
Couldn't agree more. York won that first game 4-0, and everybody kind of got the feeling of York's just going to steamroll through the rest of the series just like they did in the regular season. But it's playoff hockey, Max. It's a completely different vibe. As much as the regular season, as intense as it was, one of the best regular seasons in the history of the SHL, it still just doesn't compare to playoff hockey.
So 17 minutes up on the clock for both teams. Do want to give a shout-out to GBN's Nate Kasdan. And that video you saw at the start of tonight's broadcast was the winner of our SHL Network Playoff Hype video competition. Appreciate all the submissions we got. Ultimately, after a committee of 2, that being me and Jimmy the Wiz, we decided on Nate Kasdan's video. And, well, of course, second and third place, we'll be showing those throughout the postseason as well. But appreciate all those that submitted videos. And, Andrew, one thing's clear between the playoff bracket competition, the hype video competition, the interest and passion in the SHL is as high as it's ever been.
It's really been fun to watch from somebody that played in the SHL that now gets to broadcast here in the SHL. The social media coverage, especially by our very own Dylan Ward, has been fantastic. Just the overall effort, but the number one thank you goes out to all the fans. We wouldn't be able to have any of this without the commitment of our fan base from all over the world.
Talking about all over the world, 12 countries have tuned in to SHL Network broadcasts in the regular seasons. Over 20 different states have checked in on the SHL Network. It's truly a national and international league, but all that doesn't matter now. It's one game to see who can go meet Glenbrook South tomorrow night for game 1 at Glenview Ice Center.
And Max, you see Jacob Smith right now lined up to take this opening faceoff here for Glenbrook North. Jacob Smith was not able to play game 1 of the series due to suspension, and normally a defenseman. I believe he was a SHL All-Star, all sorts of accolades as a defenseman, but they moved him up to center, thinking that they needed goals here against York, and they got those enough goals, 2 goals, to win that game 2-1.
So Jacob Smith circles center ice. Opening draw is won by Frank Nicosia. Speaking of SHL All-Stars, what an incredible season Nicosia's had. By far the leader in points for this York team at 28, 11 goals, 17 assists. He's had quite the season for himself leading this York Dukes team.
I can't say enough good things about Frank Nicosia. Had the ability to call multiple of his games this year. All-around talented player, skating, physicality, puck handling, shot. He really is a do-it-all player for these York Dukes.
Connor Katsamakis drops it in deep. Macinter in on the forecheck. Bodies flying already. This is going to be an intense game all night long. Wilson at the blue line has his shot block, able to collect it, get it across to Katsamakis. His shot off the shin pads of Matthew Moore. Moore trying to dig it out of the corner. Leaves it for P-Tack, who spins it around and taking it out for the Dukes is Ryan Booth. Booth drops to P-Tack. He's immediately checked by Sandler and cleared. 1 minute into the game, just getting started here at Addison Ice Arena. Crowd continues to file in. Plenty still enjoying themselves some beverages over in the bar, I can see.
Max, one thing I'm really looking out for here early in this game is how teams start out these games. You get the nerves. Everybody understands the atmosphere in this game. How quickly can they get to playing their game, their system?
Certainly a feel-out period. You could see that happening already through the first 90 seconds. Both teams just trying to get the puck deep and go to work. No one wants to make that early turnover that creates any kind of momentum for the other side.
Of course, the team that scored the first goal in both games of the series went on to win both games.
Here's Nicosia with speed. Coming up the near circle. Nicosia backhanded shot. And Raderman just got a piece of it.
You see the speed there from Nicosia and just a real smooth backhand, just missing the net.
Cole Antonio has the puck taken off his stick. Here's number 97, Owen Just, all-state, all-SHL. Incredible season here in the SHL with 44 points. He's been part of that lethal GBN attack. When they get going, they are as dangerous a team in the state. Here's Just getting the turnover, and the slot has the puck taken off his stick. That's the kind of opening that Owen Just is going to look for all night long.
Yeah, and if you follow the SHL on social media, you would have seen the goal Owen just had in game 2. Just incredible ability to puck handle and finish. As you mentioned, just one of the most exciting players to watch in the state of Illinois.
That puck ricochets, and Dylan Ward's got to keep his head on a swivel. I think he's had enough of the bench. Looks like he's going to head into the penalty box. Can't blame him. Puck was pretty close, and frankly, those York benches are quite tight. Dylan, you doing all right down there? Now face-off won by GBN. Jordan Kane turns the puck over. Here's Peifel. Michael Anderson below the goal trying to get the puck on. It's taken off his stick. Siegel trying to dig it out. Eventually falls back to Kane. Katsamakis a dim off at the blue line, trying to dig it out of his own zone. Eventually it falls to the stick of Lucas DeZillo. Neither team with a shot on goal as of yet. Here's a shot on net. Raderman fights it off into the corner.
One thing we haven't talked about yet is how goaltenders can get into the game here.
Here's a chance right off. Dimoff draws the penalty. And GBN, that lethal GBN power play is going to get their first opportunity of the game.
And Max, we see the ice open right up, just as we mentioned how really haven't had a shot on goal, and we see the speed of Michael Dimoff creating a breakaway. And you just see the stick infraction right there, and then a little push from the back. And you mentioned the #1 power play here in the SHL belongs to the GBN Spartans.
And you guys both touch on it there, #1 power play in the league. But in this season series, regular season and playoffs combined, GBN just 1 out of 15 against York, 7%.
And I think that tells you all you need to know about why this GBN team has struggled against York throughout the season. Here's a shot off the crossbar. Wouldn't go. Here's Smith getting it back. Top of the circle, Katsamakis looking for an opening. His shot fought off to the corner by Kazmarek. Smith wants it in the deep slot. Here's another shot, deflects, never gets to the net. Here's Dimoff.
Seeing a real strong effort from the Spartans so far, getting pucks to the net early on this penalty kill, setting the tone that they're not afraid to shoot the puck, get the puck to the front of the net.
Swinging it around to just near point, fires it towards net. That's knocked down and taken away by Rosa, and he'll clear it. 12:57 left here in the first period, 1:15 on the GBN power play.
Something to look out for on this power play as well is the York penalty kill. Very good at blocking shots. Shot prevention so big for the Dukes.
Dimoff trying to get the puck to a Siegel coming up the slot, wasn't able to. Katsamakis follows it up from the point. Siegel shoots. Pad save by Kazmarek, kicks it to the far half wall. Smith trying to keep the action going, not able to play it forward, and cleared once again. 49 to go in the power play.
Overall good puck movement for GBN as well, really supporting the puck. Just not getting any sort of bounces to go their way, any sort of rebound to go their stick, and York doing a really good job protecting the front of their net.
Wilson's pass misses his intended target, but Macinter's able to get there, but not in time to keep the puck in the zone for GBN. 30 seconds to go on the power play. Here's Connor Katsamakis. He'll drop it in deep. Looking for Macinter on the far half wall. Rafalowski comes to support. Puck comes loose, and again, that'll be cleared with just 12 seconds to go on the power play.
Amazing job from York retrieving these dumped-in pucks on the GBN break-in. Winning battles and clearing pucks all the way down the ice, something very not easy to do shorthanded. Win those battles because you're a man down.
Final clear, the penalty kill. Well done by York. 1 or 2 shots on net for Glenbrook North, but nothing that rose to a serious challenge for Adam Kazmarek.
There was the crossbar from Owen just right at the beginning.
Puck turned over by Rafalowski, but good support from Wilson. Doesn't let that chance go any farther for the Dukes. Here's Sohn with the puck in center ice. He'll turn it over. Cooper Shalin trying to play the puck forward. Now Rossi comes up from his defensive spot. He'll drop it deep. Kazmarek aggressive out of his net. Rafalowski trying to play it along the far half wall, but not able to play it any farther than the stick of Frank Rosa.
Looks like we're going to get a whistle for the net coming off.
10:51 left here in the first period. You mentioned the crossbar chance being the best one by far of the game so far. Now this game still being played very tight, Andrew. We'll see once a goal is scored. That's usually the thing that ignites an elimination game like this, is the first goal of the game. We'll see which way that swings.
Yeah, and something our very own Dylan Ward told me was the winning teams in these SHL playoffs every game have given up 1 goal or fewer in order to win. Every single game in these SHL playoffs, just an incredible statistic that really emphasizes the importance of defense.
Smith tried to play it past the GBN defense, had it taken off. Cooper Shalin checks a man to take the puck away. Rossi and Petak come together, and Booth brings it in for the Dukes. Quick backhanded pass, couldn't get it into a shooting lane for Smith. Smith still battling for the puck. Eventually just chipped out by Josh Jenin. We talked about Jenin in the pregame. An important piece that has not been here for the GBN squad for the better part of about 3 weeks. He had an injury against in that Stevenson game that we broadcasted right here on the SHL network, but just adds to the depth and danger of this Glenbrook North offense.
And I think this is the perfect situation for Glenbrook North as well, coming off a really good win. Josh Jen doesn't have all sorts of pressure to produce like he did earlier in the season. He can more be of that spark plug type player. GBN's getting a little bit of sustained offensive zone time, but the defensive positioning from the Dukes is just incredible here, Max.
That's going to be an icing. Goes a little bit too far. You've seen a couple of clips of our goal cam. Big thank you to New Trier Hockey Club, who also recently stepped up and helped us replace our wireless mic. I don't know if you've noticed at times during the broadcast at certain rinks that'll cut out, and big thank you to New Trier for stepping up and helping us replace that.
Now you can hear my voice crystal clear.
Crystal
no matter
clear.
what rink we're at.
So big thank you to New Trier Hockey Club. Continues to be such a great partner of the SHL network. Coach Adam Charis in his first year doing great work and continuing the tradition of New Trier hockey and being great supporters of the community. So big thanks, New Trier Hockey Club. Centering pass, it's deflected aside. Here's Henriksen. His shot gets kicked aside again off the back of Kazmarek, or was that off the back of the net? A little bit tough for us to see. We're going to get a good look from the goal cam on that one.
It looks like the referee's signaling outside the zone, signaling that the net was knocked off by a GBN player.
Looked pretty clearly.
I think Mikey Anderson was pushed in by a GBN player, but I couldn't tell if Kazmarek knocked the net off right before that, but either way, the faceoff's going to come outside of the zone. Looks like GBN's very happy with that play, as Noah Wilson with a long shot right into the glove of Adam Kazmarek, but he's going to freeze it, and that's going to lead to an offensive zone draw here for GBN. Previously in the offensive zone draw for GBN, York Dukes running a long wrap type of play off of a face-off win.
It's knocked down at the blue line by Henriksen. Now Matthew Moore from the back end trying to get things started for York. Really haven't had much going at all towards Raderman. Here's Anderson below the goal. Henriksen checks him into the boards. Peifel now wins the puck below the goal. Gets it back to Anderson. We're going to get a penalty against Wilson. I think it's going to be off a high hit. It's going to be a roughing. So York's going to get their first chance on the power play coming up.
I did not see it, as it seemed to be a little bit behind the play, Max. I'm sure we're going to get a good replay, but following this series a little bit, the York power play has had some success against this Glenbrook North penalty kill so far this year.
So face-off won by York on their first power play chance. Here's a shot deflected in front. Smith didn't let it get to his netminder. Battling below the goal. Here's Petak winning the puck. Gets it back to Rosa. Rosa at the near point, swings it across to Nicosia. Back up top to Rosa. Rosa's shot deflected. Raderman got a piece of it, deflected above the goal. Nicosia recovers below the goal line. He's got Rosa back at the blue line. He'll hold it at the near point. Petak, bottom of the circle. Now Nicosia. Across to Rosa. Just charges him. Just trying to put the pressure on, force the puck out. Minute 18 left on the power play for York. Everything so far on the perimeter and cleared.
We really see Frank Nicosia quarterbacking this power play. He's all over that offensive zone so far. He's been at both points. He's been under the net. You see him now carrying the puck up on the rush. Again, just the do-it-all player here for the Dukes. As there's a long shot, it's deflected in front and just outside, and Katsamakis is going to try to clear, but kept in by Rosa, and his shot is going to be saved by Raderman with a brief rebound, but Raderman able to fall on it and get the whistle. 48 seconds to go here on.
Thank you for taking over for a minute there, Andrew. To coordinate a couple of things up here in the broadcast booth to give a good look at that shot that popped up and eventually was cleared. Rosa.
Looks like on that first shot, Max, Connor Katsamakis did a good job of clearing that puck out.
Here's another shot. Raderman steers it aside. 44 seconds to go on the power play.
Something I'm picking up on, Max. Really big advantage so far for York on face-off draws.
Saw Jacob Smith start at the center ice position to start the game. Maybe an attempt to win a few more. Haven't seen him back at that spot since that opening face-off draw. It'll be interesting to see how GBN matches up. Here's a turnover. Sandler trying to get it forward. Kaczmarek sticks it aside.
.12 seconds to go for one last rush for the Dukes as they enter on the power play. Centering pass and just off the stick of Ryan Booth, just wide of the net. A great chance for the Dukes, not able to capitalize. Here's a turnaround shot. That's blocked by Danon. And just clearing the zone as Camposano has to retrieve and dump it in deep. And York's going to go for some changes as GBN's back to full strength. Michael Dimmel with a nifty play off the wall, and he's going to head down the ice, but his pocket is picked by Sanfilippo. Sanfilippo then gets it in deep. A great, strong play there from Sanfilippo as a shot from the boards is steered aside from Raderman. Sohn is able to knock that puck out of midair, send it back under the GBN. Now he sends it to the front of the net, and that shot's saved by Raderman. Flipped out now, and Steiner battling. GBN wants a penalty. They're not going to get one. And the Dukes look to head back on the rush again. Here's Steiner on the wing. Flips it over to Schoenberg. He's coming down the middle of the ice. Puck finds Dimoff, and he's just going to hold as GBN goes for some changes. Four-man scrum in the corner. Puck comes out to Kane at the point. He takes a shot, and that's blocked by York. A lot of blocked shots so far from the Dukes. Looks like that puck hit off the net, and there we go. We get the whistle. Face-off should be inside with 5:09 here to go.
Now that is utility man Andrew Rubin, who can just step in and do play-by-play at a moment's notice. He's fixing a couple of technical issues we have up here, so you're all set now. Appreciate you stepping in.
Anything needed, you can call me the utility man, but obviously you're more much needed on the technical end. So important. You and Jimmy the Wiz Olsen.
Jimmy the Wiz back from his sickness. He was out for quite a bit, down bad with the flu. We missed him. I had to step into that engineer role, and I think, frankly, everybody could tell that the production suffered. So I know all the SHL fans are certainly happy to have Jimmy back at the controls.
Max, I won't take offense to that.
Hey, I was the one that did about 4 straight. I think you did one of them, right, Dylan?
Yeah, I did. I think I did 2. One on the CCHL network.
That's right. But we've got the master backs, and
believe the net's off, and we're still continuing play here.
And that's still off. Finally, we get a whistle. The GBN bench going absolutely crazy trying to get play stopped there with 4:38 left in the first.
And Max, one thing I'm really noticing for GBN, they are struggling mightily at getting the puck out of the zone, winning their blue lines. York doing a really good job, their defensemen and their high forwards, of shutting down this GBN breakout. We talked about the quick strike that GBN has. You can't give them any sort of space, and York is executing that to perfection, having lots of sustained offensive zone time.
Here's a point-blank chance fought off by Raderman. Again, the goal comes off its post, and I don't think Raderman's really pushing. That goal is not very secure at this point. I don't know that Raderman did more than tap the post and it popped off.
Yeah, guys, I'm looking at the forks that are going into the ice that's making that net stick, or at least supposed to make it stick, and they're maybe a quarter of an inch thick. Long, I should say, down into the ice.
And Max, I just want to highlight that save by Raderman. Great save there. From a pass under the net right to the slot. A great push from Raderman. Gets that right pad on the puck. Really a grade A chance for the Dukes.
Smith's shot wide of the net. Far points Aaron Curry. His shot looking for a deflection from Petak in front. Never got it. Sandler finally able to clear the zone for GBN, who is playing defense for the last several minutes. Henriksen keeps it in. He shoots towards net, but gloved by Curry and steered into the corner.
Again, more block shots for the Dukes. We're seeing it from GBN as well. It's that playoff atmosphere. Block shots galore.
And we've talked about it on the SHL network before. Stevenson basically won a state championship simply by blocking about 25 shots a game. That can be the recipe in playoff action. Petak's cross-ice pass, he whiffs, but DeZillo is able to get it along the near half wall. Backhanded shot easily turned aside by Raderman. See York putting a lot of pressure on these GBN defensemen. They do not want to allow clean exits and give this forward line for GBN space through the neutral zone. They want to stop the action in GBN zone.
Really good strategy to stop that engine before it even gets going.
See if Owen Just can break it for GBN. Not able to get it through the neutral zone. Finally, just with a little bit of space, he'll just fire it in deep and give Siegel and Dimoff a chance in the near corner. And we're going to get another penalty against GBN. Looked like a hit in the corner, a little bit tough for us to see from here. See what we can see on a replay. Saw a couple bodies come together. Tough to see. I don't know, could be boarding, could be roughing. Take your pick on that one.
I think we got a roughing call was the initial signal from the official there. And we're going to get another look at this York power play, which had some good puck movement, but nothing really able to stick. So far, we haven't seen them get any sort of passes through the box or any sort of rebound chances yet. As you mentioned, mainly on the perimeter for the Dukes.
Guys mentioned GBN's power play against York in this season series. Not too good. York, on the other hand, fantastic. 9 out of 21 in those 5 games played.
That will get it done, ladies and gentlemen. That's up above 40% if my back of my napkin math suits me right.
That includes 4 power play goals in the regular season finale. Whoa, that puck came by fast.
2:40 to go in the period. 1:38 on the York power play. Rosa waiting for it. Back of the blue line sits P-Tac outside the near circle. Nicosia can't handle it. He'll have to drop it in deep. Play it along to P-Tac below the goal line. Yatsamakis cuts his angle off, trying to get back up top. Nicosia not able to get to it. So York's got to reset in the neutral zone.
And Max, we see Jacob Smith back on defense, playing the point on the power play, defense on the penalty kill. And you mentioned started the game at center.
We've seen the trust in him grow throughout the season from the GBN coaching staff. He's had a really nice season on the defensive end. Not necessarily tearing it up on the points for GBN, but they got plenty of other scores where he can anchor them defensively. He's a huge help.
And Max, I had the ability to talk to GBN coaches all the time, and they just talk about how smart he is as a player. His hockey IQ is just off the charts.
Here's Coit with the puck. He makes one man miss. Leaves for Compasano. That shot, Raderman's able to squeeze with 1:42 left in the period and 40 on the power play.
Real tough save there from Raderman. Looked like he was screened, and at the last second gets that right shoulder and blocker up and allows no rebound as well. Another face-off win for the Dukes, though, on the power play.
They continue to control the face-off dot, and that is a recipe for success for York. If they can continue that possession game, it's going to feed them well. Anderson from the point, shot in on Raderman, and he falls on it once again. We'll take a whistle, 22 remaining on the power play.
And Max, the first face-off of this power play for the Dukes, they lost. GBN cleared it right away, and it took the Dukes a long time to get reset up in the zone. Just so important face-offs, especially in playoff games like this.
Face-off once again, won by York. Back to the point and Anderson. Far half wall's Coit. Right up top, Anderson, his shot hits Smith right in the chest. Follow-up shot, blocked again by Smith. He's in a lot of pain. Backdoor, Booth couldn't handle it. He had a wide open cage, but couldn't put it on net. Sandler trying to clear it, still couldn't get it out. That's the end of the power play. Back to full strength is GBN.
That shot really stung Smith. He's still in noticeable discomfort.
He's barely able to hold a stick at this point. Another sharp angle shot. Raderman trying to get a whistle so Smith can get out of there, but he is in severe discomfort. That'd be a massive loss if he's gone for even a shift for GBN the way he's been playing.
Looks like he's reaching towards that hand-wrist area. Could have been where he blocked that shot in an area with no padding. You just hope he can get back on the ice as quickly as possible.
49.9 left here in the first period. GBN ties things up in the face-off dot. Rossi tries to use his body to create an angle. Still, York able to keep the pressure on. Cyphers up to Schoenberg, couldn't get it out. Now Alan Adenen in the corner. Nicosia. Cyphers comes to support with 30 seconds to go in the period. York just has the puck trapped against the boards, trying to get it out, but GBN doing a great job keeping it on the perimeter. Now Steiner trying to dig it out, but once again, pinching down, keeping it in is Aaron Curry. Schoenberg finally able to slap it off the boards and get it out for GBN. Final 6 seconds of the period. Added in, going to be content with just wasting the rest of the period, so that will do it for one. It is 0-0, a very tight game thus far, only a couple of good chances either side. It's clear these teams feeling each other out in this elimination game.
And I think the better the play, Max, I would have to say went to York in that first period. I'm sure they have the advantage in the shots so far in this game, but as you mentioned, still not a whole lot of action. I think GBN really wants to see if they can open this game up here in the second period.
We'll take a quick timeout, catch our breath, come back with second period action in just a moment, right here on your home for SHL Hockey YouTube Live.
The reigning Calder Cup champion Chicago Wolves return to Allstate Arena this Saturday and Sunday.
He shoots, he scores!
It's Saturday's Star Wars night.
Soucis makes it 2-0.
Tradition, intense, explosive, aggressive.
There's some passion.
The Chicago Wolves are ready. Are you? Get your tickets today for the Chicago Wolves Star Wars night on Saturday and Family Sunday.
Big thank you to the Chicago Wolves, latest sponsor of the SHL. Of course, if you were around, you saw the Wolves series. And hey, Chicago, you know what Saturday is, right? That's right. Saturday is hockey night in Chicago. The Chicago Wolves own Saturday nights in Chicago. And this Saturday, it's the Chicago Wolves versus the Cleveland Monsters. It's also Star Wars night at the Wolves game on Saturday, and special Star Wars night ticket packages, including laser swords, are available at ChicagoWolves.com. It's back-to-back home games at Allstate Arena for the Wolves as they host a Scott Credit Union Family Sunday game this Sunday at 3 p.m. So come out, see the Chicago Wolves against Cleveland Monsters on Saturday. And for Star Wars night, Family Sunday at 3 p.m. We are Chicago, we are hockey, we are the Wolves. Second period action back underway. Dylan Ward down on ice level. Andrew Rubin next to me up here in the broadcast booth. I'm Max Anderson, along with the rest of the SHL Network crew in this elimination game of the quarterfinals of the SHL playoffs. Andrew, a very tight first period.
It's about as tight as it can get. We've mentioned no team makes that mistake. First goal so important in games like these, especially at Game 3. Defense just been emphasized so much in this league in the playoffs. Couldn't expect it any other way.
Early icing for GBN, so York's going to get an offensive zone draw, again winning at the draw. One-timer blocked in front. One-timer from DeZillo wouldn't get through. Here's Steiner in transition, a little bit of space. That's about the most space we've seen in quite some time. Siegel trying to get it across, couldn't get it to Dimoff. Katsamakis near point, blocked by Smith. Cranes back into the neutral zone.
Max, that right there is the play GBN has to look to eliminate as much as possible. You cannot try to force pucks in areas where they can't against these Dukes. So positionally fundamental, support the puck so well. You just can't expect that to work.
Siegel wins a board battle, gets the puck below the goal, looking for an outlet, looking for Dimoff backdoor, but couldn't get it to him. It's two plays in a row where Dimoff's been waiting right at that backdoor post there, Andrew, waiting for that pass to get across the ice.
And I think GBN, I mentioned they got to spread these Dukes out. They got to get the puck to the point, work it low to high.
Here's P-Tac with speed, skates into the high slot, looking for an angle, shoot, bad save, Raderman, follow-up, scores! York takes the early lead, 1-0, just a minute 8 into the second period.
A perfectly executed 3-on-2 for the Dukes. Great patience from Nico P-Tac. Cuts across the middle, waits out Michael Raderman, takes a low, hard shot, and that rebound goes right to the York player, who has a wide-open 4x6 to give us the game's first goal.
It looked like it was Benjamin Smith backdoor. I believe that's who it was. A little bit tough to see in the fracas of bodies. We'll get a good look at it here from the goal cam. Backdoor. Brilliantly scored. It was Smith getting the goal, and for Smith, that's just his third SHL goal of the season. He had 2 in the regular season, so a huge early lead for York.
And Max, you hear it all the time in the biggest games like these, the Game 7s in the playoffs, the Game 3s in the SHL. It's the people you don't expect to score that end up being the goal scorers here.
So we'll see how GBN responds. We've mentioned it. Both teams winning games that they scored the first goal, and every SHL playoff game thus far, the losing team has had 1 or 0 goals. So goals at a premium if you're not going to win. Raderman, a little bit of a tricky save there off his stick handle. Added in up to Just. He's immediately pressured and turns it over to Maurer. Schoenberg trying to chip it off the glass, couldn't get it further than a waiting defenseman of Frank Rosa. Henriksen gets it to Just quickly. This is where Just is dangerous up the left wing. Good patience by Moore.
Looks like the net is off again. We're not going to get a whistle.
That net to our left has been problematic all night tonight. Rosa to collect. Swings it around the board, kept in by Misinter. And rifled off the boards, this time gloved by Sanfilippo. Trying to force the puck out, eventually able to. Here's Sanfilippo. He doesn't have much help. He'll fire a shot high and wide of the net. Fouled up by Sanfilippo. Now Campusano keeps it at the blue line. This time it'll be gloved by Katsamakis and chipped out of his own zone. It's going to be offsides as the York Dukes didn't quite clear the zone with 14:02 left in the second period.
Guys, not just 1-0 on the scoreboard. This has been all Duke so far. No shots on goal here at the rink, but I can report 16-5 in advantage of the home team.
Yeah, it's been tilted that way for sure. Haven't seen this GBN offense really able to get much in transition, set up much. Point blank chance, not able to get him up much on the shot with Sohn. Again, a shot, this time blocked. We're going to get a penalty behind the play. GBN's going to head to the power play once York touches the puck. Here's Rafalowski. Point blank, follow-up shot, trying to stuff it home, couldn't. Here's Katsamakis, he scores! Connor Katsamakis with the extra skater ties it up for GBN.
This play was all started by Anthony Rafalowski dipping his shoulder and taking this puck right to the front of the net. Forces his way in there, gets a rebound chance. I was not sure if York cleared that puck from the front of the net. Hopefully we can rewind that replay just a little bit earlier because of the delayed penalty, but that puck finds Connor Katsamakis, and Adam Kazmarek cannot see it through the sea of bodies in front of him.
Yeah, he never went down to the butterfly. He never saw that shot, even for a moment.
Max, I couldn't tell. It looked like it was just York bodies in front of the net at the time. I think York cleared that puck from the front of the net. Could have very easily had the whistle blown, but to the beneficiary of the Spartans, that ties this game at 1-1.
Andrew, you're exactly right. The Dukes did clear that straight to the sticks, so that'll be an unassisted goal.
Good catch by you, Dylan. Appreciate that down at the ice level. You've got a pretty good view of that one. Wandering around the boards, different angles. That's why we love our sideline roll here on the SHL network.
Not much room to hang out down on the benches, unfortunately, here at Addison, but taking in a couple different angles, making my way around.
Here's Siegel as he pulls up, and Dimoff would have put the play offsides. Eventually, Siegel gets it deep, and I believe offside's called, but Andrew, I think the look on your face tells you all you need to know.
I don't necessarily know if that was offsides. The official looked to be trying to avoid the puck, which you can't blame the official for, obviously, but really hard to make an offsides call when your head is turned the other way, just trying to protect yourself there.
12:57 left here in the second period, 1-1 our score. Both goals coming here early in the second period. Noah Wilson back to get the puck for the Spartans. Jenin tries a one-touch pass, turns it over. Good stick lift in the recovery by Rossi. Peifel had some space. He was ready to fire off a wrister, centering pass to Anderson. Couldn't handle it in the slot. Trying to move forward quickly, but Cyphers turns it over. We're going to get another penalty. Didn't see this one. Andrew, I'm not sure if you did. Slash is the signal against GBN.
I did not either. It looks like it's going to be on Noah Wilson, 2 minutes for slashing here. But on that shift again, we just see it, GBN struggling so bad to crack this York pressure. Just almost throwing pucks right to those Dukes forwards, waiting for them.
So 2 minutes up on the clock, 12:28 left here in the second period. York looking to take the lead once again. P-Tack's going to get the chance here on the face-off draw for the Dukes.
Good to see Jacob Smith back on the ice for the Spartans.
That's a huge news for the Spartan faithful, seeing him back on the ice. P-Tack outside the far circle, gets it up top to Rosa. Right back to P-Tack. Looking across ice pass. Good stick in the middle by Katsamakis. Didn't let it get to the back door.
Right on with that, Max. Very alert play there from Katsamakis. Tipped that puck from wide open backdoor chance.
Nicosia across ice to P-Tech. His shot, another backdoor chance, and a good stick tie up from Aiden Siegel. Didn't let that go any further and cleared.
Also, Connor Katsamakis did a great job of tying up. It looked like Matthew Moore in front of the net. So that rebound came right to Moore, but another huge play from Katsamakis to shut down a goal.
1:15 left on the power play for the Dukes. Here's P-Tech leading the rush. He'll drop it deep, and the Dukes will go in on a forecheck. Moore quickly gets it on the far half wall to back up to the far point, and Rosa swings it across Nicosia. His shot hits a body in front, waiting on the back door. Follow-up shot, big save by Raderman. And we haven't gotten too many saves that are contenders for our Schmidt goaltending save of the game, but Raderman maybe had one in the first and maybe a second right there.
I would have to agree. There was that one in the first where he pushed out to the front of the net, right pad save. This one again pushing all the way across net. We get a great angle here from the goal cam. All out sprawling save by Michael Raderman. Looks like a guy in the chest, and he didn't even know where it was at first, but just sitting there holding on top of that puck to get the whistle.
11:20 left here in the second period. A scrum of bodies at the near point. Finally, Miss Sinter able to chip it out into the neutral zone.
Guys, Raderman, since coming into this series, has been outstanding. A .967 save percentage.
Here's Cole Antonio as his shot kicked into the corner. Camposano waiting for it. He gets it with 30 left on the power play. Cole Antonio using the body to shield. Katsamakis trying to pry it free. Comes to Smith. Smith looks, chips it off the boards and out into the neutral zone.
Looks like we're going to get a high stick call. It looked like it was a high stick on Ryan Booth. Knocked that puck out of midair. Very high skilled play, but unfortunately for the Dukes, that's going to bring the face-off all the way down to their own end.
Yeah, that's a huge break for GBN as they're going to get an offensive zone draw with just 19 seconds left on this power play.
Max, you say it a lot. Icings and offsides are the two big no-nos of power plays. Basically the same thing as an icing here with the high stick. Very unfortunate luck, but it brings that face-off all the way down to the Duke zone.
Rossi's stick slows the rush for York, followed by San Filippo. Here's a shot, point blank. Puck pops up into the air. Raderman has to whack it into the corner. 4 seconds to go on the power play. Curry at the point. Now a little give and go action, trying to get it to the front of the net. Saved by Raderman, follow-up shot. San Filippo couldn't get it to go. Rafalowski trying to force it out. Back to full strength, 2-on-1. Here comes GBN. Dimoff trying to get across to Rafalowski, who not really sure why he was coming that close on the 2-on-1. Looked like a little bit of misposition there from Rafalowski.
The back check of Aaron Curry really threw that play off. Just hounded Michael Dimoff and really put Rafalowski in a tough position, not knowing if Dimoff was going to be able to get a pass or shot off with Curry all over him.
10 minutes to go in the second period. 1-1 our score here from Madison Ice Arena. Dylan Ward, Andrew Rubin, Max Anderson here on the call. York slow in a change. Good stick right at the blue line by Rosa to slow it down, or GBN could have had a 2-on-1.
And Max, you heard the GBN bench screaming as soon as they saw that late change from the Dukes.
Rafalowski trying to force a turnover, instead taken out of the zone by Rosa. Back checked by Smith. Here's a shot from Booth, easily gloved by Michael Raderman. And the sophomore came into this season with so much hype, so much promise to be a star in net for GBN. Had his ups and downs in his first varsity season this year, but really of late, especially, obviously we've talked about it in the last game, he's been really, really sharp.
The potential is off the charts with Michael Raderman. He had the ability actually to play the SHL both playoff games for GBN last year against Loyola despite being on the JV team. He was giving the team the best chance to win at the time, and he was phenomenal in that series. Unfortunately, losing both games, but both efforts that he had were just fantastic.
Here's Moore. His shot just missing the near post. Moore again tries to drop it below the goal line, but Katsamakis was waiting for it there, chips it out, but into the York bench, so it'll stay in the GBN zone with 8:56 left in the second.
Tough break for the Spartans there, but that's what the Spartans have to look to do. They have to find a way to get the puck out of their zone any way they can right now. York doing such a good job of keeping that puck in the zone. GBN create races, make it tough on the York defensemen to try and get that puck and immediately create offense again. Just again, the Duke's so good playing positionally sound hockey.
Puck slides across the crease, but no Duke could put it towards net. That's going to be cleared all the way down, but an icing against GBN, so an offensive zone draw coming for the Dukes.
We see a quick change from GBN as well after a couple offensive zone draws. For the Dukes, they're going to get 5 new Spartans on, and of course York, with the advantage of having the last change here at home, they have the matchups that they want. York head coach Matt Boeing, terrific game planner. Again, I've talked about how well his team is playing positionally right now, has his matchups that he wants this game.
Curry's shot looking for a deflection from P-Tac, but it went through about 4 or 5 different bodies. Now turned over, breakaway opportunity. Sandler trying to skate ahead, but Smith cuts him off. GBN bench wants a penalty. They're not going to get it. Here's Booth, has P-Tac coming up the slot. Good stick from Wilson, deflects the shot up into the glass. That misses everybody. Now it's going to be a race. Rafalowski trying to nod man opportunity. Couldn't collect Macinter either. Good defensive play that time by Nicholas Camposano. Centering pass. Here's a shot from Smith. Raderman squeezes the legs. And we'll get a face-off draw.
Guys, if I could get a second down here, just want to give a shout out to Caden Buens correctly predicting Benjamin Smith would score the first goal of tonight's game via our Instagram poll. So shout out Caden.
Good work. Lots of engagement on our Instagram. Of course, Dylan does an excellent job on our Instagram account. Been tweeting out some of those honorable mention, posting some of those honorable mention SHL hype videos all day, getting everybody nice and warmed up for this game 3 here at Addison. Under 8 to go here in the second period, 1-1. Dimoff checking Curry. Siegel able to get the puck along the far half wall, puts it below. Here's Dimoff. Dimoff again using his body to shield a man. Centering pass, backdoor. Steiner couldn't get a shot off.
Looked like Steiner just wasn't ready for that play. Great job by Michael Dimoff forcing that turnover, walking the puck out and finding Steiner. Always say it's a really good pass when the guy in the receiving end isn't even expecting it, Max.
Steiner trying to get some possession for GBN, but he'll be taken away by the Dukes. And Anderson will drop it in deep. Added in, giving it chase. Anderson gets his own dump in the corner. Rossi able to collect for the Spartans. Steiner can't handle in the neutral zone, so it'll be Rosa taking over for York. Here's Rosa with some speed in the high slot. He shoots. Fought off on the blocker, still bouncing around right above the crease. Rosa trying to get a shot off. Wide, backdoor chance, just missing the far post. Another chance, couldn't get it to go. A lot of action finally cleared by GBN, but that's going to be an icing, and they'll be content with taking an icing on that one.
100%, Max. All-out blitz there from York, and we saw multiple times that puck gained to the front of the net with numerous York bodies in front. You see the first play right there.
Oh, and a huge pad. Didn't even notice it in real time. Raderman did save a goal. He left pad save. You just saw it on the replay there. That would have been the second goal for York. I don't even know how he saw it. It was behind him, and somehow just had that instinct to kick to his left and keep it 1-1.
And right before that, York had that pass for the wide open net that they just missed wide, as well as a flurry of chances for the Dukes. As it looks like we have a problem, maybe something on the ice that the official's going to clean up.
Looked like Michael Raderman was all over it. Face off one, that time by Shaylin. Katsamakis turns it over. Centering pass, but waiting for it there and erasing it was Smith. Good two-line pass all the way to Jenin. Drops it in deep. Shaylin now leaves it for Smith. Smith shot looking for a deflection. Cyphers knocks it down. Jenin turns and shoots well high and wide. Katsamakis pitches up to keep it in. Cyphers trying to control in the corner. Katsamakis keeps it. Shaylin backing him up. Trying to play the puck forward. Still trying to force it out are the Dukes. Finally able to get it out into center ice.
You see the Spartans giving the Dukes a little bit of taste their own medicine, doing a great job holding that blue line.
They've seen the forecheck turn up here a little bit for GBN. They've started to put a little bit more pressure on these Dukes, force them to be a little bit more precise in getting the puck out. We're starting to see some dividends. Trying to get it back to Smith. He's able to go around one man. Schoenberg set a pick. Here's a shot, just missing the near post. Cyphers trying to backhand it forward. Kasmarek hugging that post. And we get a whistle with 5:40 left in the second.
Really good shift there from the Spartans. Looks like this fourth line, too, of Jenin, Schoenberg, Cyphers. Doing a really good job on the pressure, getting pucks to the front of the net. Next step for the Spartans after doing that is getting guys to the front of the net like we've seen the Dukes do. Create that chaos in front of the net of Adam Kazmarek. And right after that shift, we see Matt Boeing immediately put out his top line and Frank Nicosia.
Yeah, I think he could sense some of the momentum in this game has really swung towards GBN. This has been the best offensive possession they've had over the last 5 minutes. I think he wants to see his Dukes establish a little bit control here. Nicosia chips it along, but falls to the stick of Wilson. Cole Antonio able to get the turnover. Here's Nicosia. Centering pass just misses Maurer. Kept in by Curry. Again, Nicosia below the goal. Looking for an outlet. No drop for Maurer. Centering pass trying to get to Cole Antonio, but taken off his stick by Schoenberg. Schoenberg will drop it deep. Kazmarek risky as he's got a couple of Spartans on this side, but able to get it past both to Maurer. Eventually setting to Camposano.
We see the aggressive play of Adam Kazmarek playing the puck. We've seen it already multiple times this game, not afraid to go out there and be a third defenseman for York.
Dimoff patient, he'll chip it up off the glass into the neutral zone. Owen Just was lurking. He wanted a breakaway opportunity, couldn't quite get the puck. Instead, here's Rafalowski with space up the near wing. He shoots, just fought off the left blocker of Kazmarek, keeps it a 1-1 game.
You saw the quick reaction from Adam Kazmarek right there. It's a quick flick of the wrist to get that blocker on that Rafalowski partial breakaway shot.
The center across to Dimoff outside the near circle. Dimoff turns, trying to get it one-timer. Smith, and a glove save from Kazmarek with 4:03 left in the second.
You saw Rafalowski just fly by after that shot got to Kazmarek. If he can get there in front of those eyes of Kazmarek, be a golden opportunity for the Spartans, who we mentioned really turned up their play here as of late. Great save there from Adam Kazmarek. Picture perfect form-wise for a goaltender. Out to challenge, tracks it perfectly into his blocker, and steers that rebound well into the corner as well.
If he miscalculates by an inch or two, that's the second goal of the game for GBN. The center drops, point blank stuff attempt for Dimoff, couldn't get it to go. Here's Smith with space, he shoots, fought off, quick rebound, but Kazmarek drops the glove on it. Another offensive zone draw coming for GBN.
Right off the faceoff, we saw some GBN pressure. Again, we're seeing those defensemen now for GBN also get their shots through a little bit more. The shot blocking of the York Dukes starting to get figured out a little bit by these Spartans late in the second period.
York able to win the draw. Rosa playing around the other side to Zillow, trying to get it out, but kept in by Macinter. There's Rosa. Rafalowski pins him against the glass. Dimoff trying to help. Still stuck in the corner as four bodies battled out. Eventually comes to Ryan Booth. Dimoff drops to Rafalowski all alone. Quick touch pass, but Kazmarek saw it coming the whole way. As Macinter was coming up the slot. Katsamakis bluffs a one-timer, instead holds it. Gets all the way through. Kazmarek, a good pad save. Now York with numbers, could be a 3-on-1 to 2-on-1. Here's a shot fought off on the shot from P-Tech by Raderman. Here's Dimoff with speed, skating up the right wing. Skates all the way around the goal. Centering pass, trying a backhanded shot, couldn't quite get it off, was Rafalowski. Smith comes in to keep it. Here's a shot, blocker saved by Kazmarek. Now Rosa in transition. Rosa trying to lead it. He gets a shot off, missing wide. Raderman, wise play there by Michael Raderman.
Looks like we're going to get a penalty here.
Well,
called on Jacob Smith.
Before the penalty, I do want to give Raderman, I want to get a replay of that, Jimmy, because he got just enough in the way of P-Tech there to slow him down, or P-Tech might have had a goal. We're going to get a good look at it here. Watch the way that puck bounces off the boards, and P-Tech just gets in the way of, or I should say Raderman just gets in the way of P-Tech enough. Smith's going to get the penalty on the roughing, but
if we can get another replay, there's a possibility that's goaltender interference as well.
If we could run that back one more time, Jimmy, that'd be awesome. You're going to see the shot from Smith here. Now here's, Now we got it from Jimmy, thank you. Here's Rosa. You know what? I don't know that Raderman was doing that on purpose. As I look at that replay one more time, Andrew, I agree with you. I think that might have been goaltender interference.
And I think that's the reason why Jacob Smith gave a little bit of an extra shove there at the end, because he saw his goaltender get knocked down by the York Duke, Frank Rose, attacking player there. But either way, it's going to be a Duke's power play with 2:28 to go here in the third period. Max, I'm looking at the ice. Really chewed up so far. Look for York to get anything and everything towards the front of the net. Look for a scramble, garbage-type goal.
Shot from Nicosia, quick rebound, give it up from Raderman, but he'll drop his glove on it, take a face-off draw with 2:33 left in the second.
Guys, roughing is the call that got put in the books.
Thank you, Dylan.
I believe 3 of the 4 penalties called on the Spartans so far have been called for roughing.
I'm seeing 2 roughing, a cross-checking, slashing.
Ah, one was called a cross-check, I see.
So Nicosia is calling for it here on the near side. Said Pete Tack outside the far circle. He'll skate forward, backdoor chance. Huge save by Michael Raderman. And you won't see much bigger than that. A prime contender for our Schmidt goaltending save of the game.
Good set play there from York, and Michael Raderman, fantastic save. Can't give enough adjectives to describe that save right there. Pushing post to post, wide open backdoor play.
Sandler battling shorthanded, gets it to Siegel in the slot. Quick stick by Maurer, or else Siegel was ready to fire. GBN still putting pressure on shorthanded. Able to waste about 30 seconds to get a couple of offensive zone chances out of it. Here's Nicosia. He'll leave it for Moore. Back to Rosa. Rosa gets immediate pressure, so he's got to fire it deep. Adden missed a chance to clear it for GBN. Falls to Nicosia. Nicosia trying to get it across, deflected. Clearance attempt stopped by P-Tech to keep the offensive rush going for York with 40 to go on the power play. Maurer drops to Nicosia, looking for a lane. And again, the goal off its posts. Andrew, I'm the first person to call out when goaltenders are aggressive on the posts to the point of borderline penalty. That has not been the case here tonight. We have not seen aggressiveness out of the goaltenders, and these goals keep popping off the posts.
Not at all, and Dylan down at ice level has said that the pegs do not look very sharp, really at all. And you see both goaltenders are doing it. It's really hard to get upset at a goaltender when both of them are doing it. Oh my goodness. See the replay of the save right there from the goal cam. Incredible.
They just do not get much better than that out of Michael Raderman, keeping this game 1-1 with 1:12 left in the second period.
Guys, I can't wait to look at that replay myself. I didn't get the best angle of it, but unbelievable stuff from Raderman, already at 28 stops on the evening.
He's going to have to continue to come up big for this GBN side. 28 to go on the power play. Anderson near point. He'll swing it across to Camposano. Coit below the goal line, looking for some help in the slot area. Couldn't get it there. Instead, Camposano gets it across Anderson. Anderson shot blocked out in front. Backdoor Coit, his shot. And if that previous shot's not getting by Raderman, I can promise you that one won't either.
Max, I really like the way this York power play is looking right now. They have some great set plays. They do good jobs of ordering some misdirection, using almost like screens in basketball, little sets up there to get guys in time and space. Would not be surprised to see a Duke's power play goal scored later on in this game if they get another opportunity on the power play.
48 seconds to go here in the second period. 10 on the power play for York. It's been a very effective power play this far. Get a quick whistle.
I believe York was trying to get a change, and the referees deemed it was too late.
Final seconds of the power play for York. GBN's going to try to waste it in the corner. York trying to pry it free and eventually cleared right at the end of the power play. Smart play, as that would have been too many men on the ice. Rafalowski played it. There was like 1 second left on the power play, so he had to wait just a beat before he could play that puck.
Yeah, he jumped early. That was well before Jacob Smith came out of the box. Mentioned smart play. Would have easily been a too many men penalty.
20 seconds to go in the period. Camposano tries a stretch pass. He misses Peifel. Doesn't get far enough for icing, so we'll play on with 10 to go. Now just right at the end of the period, trying to see if he can go between the legs of Camposano. He gets taken down to the ice. and GBN's going to get a power play to start the third period. A huge turn of events, and not a smart play by Justice. He might get a reciprocal there. GBN was headed to the power play, and I think they might both get penalties here. Oh, and Just with a great play at the end of the period draws the penalty, and we'll find out if he ends up getting one himself. Dylan, you were right there. You had a front row view of that exchange.
Yeah, guys, that was some pretty serious stuff. A lot of hard hits at the end there, and a couple of punches thrown. And of course, you get the York player ending up on the ice. I had a little bit of an obstruction to see who that was, but I mean, look, these are not two natural rivals in the SHL necessarily. But you got to remember, this is the third game in a row they're playing against each other. Actually, the fourth game in a row as they played in the regular season finale. And that chippiness is going to start to build up, and especially with 1 period to go, tie game, it's going to be a wild ending.
So we'll sort it all out during the second intermission. We'll update you when we start the third, but we're going to step aside, catch our breath, come back with third period action here in Game 3 of this quarterfinal matchup between York and GBN. 1-1 our score after 2. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes with third period action right here on your home for SHL Hockey, YouTube Live. Welcome back live. Third period action coming up here from Addison Ice Arena in Game 3 of this quarterfinal matchup between GBN and York. Dylan Ward down on the ice. Andrew Rubin up here with me. Max Anderson on the call. And Andrew, this is our first Game 3 of the SHL playoffs, and it's living up to exactly what we expected. A low-scoring, controlled game. We'll see how it plays out in the third period.
From a broadcast perspective, we couldn't ask for anything more. And for those of you at home, that play that ended the second period, coincidental penalties have been called, one on York, one on GBN, so we will start the third period 5-on-5 here. And Max, this first shift, so important for the rest of this game, setting the tone, which team is going to be the aggressors here in the third period. Couldn't ask for anything better.
And guys, you know, 1-1, not a lot of people consider this the most exciting game, but if you're not excited watching this, you haven't been watching the game. One of the most exciting low-scoring games you'll get.
Totally agree, Dylan. This has been a really well-played hockey game, and we're going to start this third period 5-on-5. I know there's that skirmish at the end of the period. It was an original penalty on York, and then Owen Just was called with the reciprocal, so we'll stay 5-on-5 here. No power play for the Spartans to start the third. Here's Nicosia, is turned around by Sandler, loses the puck. Katsamakis able to chip it out, hits a stanchion. Almost a breakaway for Cole Antonio. Instead, here comes Moore. What can you say about Michael Raderman? Continues to be absolutely incredible in net for this GBN side. Talked early in the game, 38 of 39 in last night's game. He's over 30 saves already through 2 periods.
And Max, Adam Kazmarek has been phenomenal himself as well.
He just hasn't had nearly as many chances. His team's kept him much cleaner. Raderman's had a few more pucks coming his way. Yeah, I can't think of really more than 1 or 2 really high-quality chances that Kazmarek's had to stop besides the goal.
Yeah, and GBN, that second half of the second period, really up their shots on goal amount. Dylan mentioned earlier the heavy advantage York had, but GBN, that second half of that second period, really turned the tables on York, giving York a little bit of taste of their own medicine with the offensive zone pressure they were able to establish, but Adam Kazmarek was up to all the tasks.
Yeah, and you know, you look at shots in Game 2, it was pretty even in the first and second period. In that third period, York outshot the Spartans 14-2, got the 1 goal. It wasn't enough to come back.
And we saw both teams, when they were leading at the end of the second period, really go into more of a shell.
Turnover, Dimoff takes it away in the slot, trying to get a shot off. He's hounded the entire time. GBN wants a penalty. They're not going to get one. Steiner fouls it up, side of the net, trying to get a shot off now in the slot. Dimoff turns, fires, just misses the far post. Steiner does a good job on the back check. He's all over the ice to start this third period. He's going to draw a penalty. What a job by Connor Steiner, who worked all ends of the ice, and he gets all the taps on the bench as he comes back.
We saw a player go down. Looks like we're only going to get one penalty on Ryan Booth, which I think is the right call. And going back to your point, Max, Connor Steiner, tremendous shift right there. Spark plug type player for GBM. We saw him take that puck to the front of the net, create a chance. We saw him on the back check there, give the all-out effort. And we saw where Owen just may have lost his poise a little bit at the end of that second period. We saw York right now at the beginning of this third period lose their poise just a little bit. And it's going to give GBN a chance on the power play, although Owen Just still in the box for 18 seconds and a whistle.
I was just going to say, big break here for York, as Just is not going to be on the ice for the start of this power play. As eventually, I guess, pretty much every power play that GBN has had this season, he usually starts on it. Here's Dimoff. Has Katsamakis back at the point, and Katsamakis can't handle it. It's going to come all the way back to Raderman. 14:50 left here in the third period. Already 30 seconds gone on the power play for GBN. Smith cross ice to Dimoff. Can't quite hit him in stride. So Dimoff just has to chip it in deep. Fired around the boards. Katsamakis can't keep it in, and cleared once again by York.
We saw in the first period, I don't believe GBN had a power play in the second period. GBN being forced to dump it in, but York, an incredible job of retrieving pucks under their own net in the kill and clearing them down the ice.
Siegel drops for Dimoff. Gives it right back below the goal line. Back up top, Katsamakis near point. Here's Smith in the middle of the ice. His shot, he scores! Jacob Smith gets the go-ahead goal for the Spartans. It's 2-1.
GBN finally able to get possession on the power play, and they move it to the middle to Jacob Smith, who just hesitates for a second and a half to create that lane, to get that puck through to the net. And Adam Kazmarek appeared to be screened on the play, and a perfect shot off the post. As we're going to get a replay, you see that hesitation and Dimoff at that high screen. No angle for Kazmarek to see, perfectly off the post and in, and 2-1 lead for GBN early here in the third.
And what a great look of it you get there from the goal cam. You see that Kazmarek really had no shot there. One more time, you could see that just no chance for 33 in net for York.
Yes, not only Michael Dimoff, but it looked like Matthew Moore as well was also covering Michael Dimoff in front of the net, making it even tougher.
Guys, we've gotten some great shots out of that goal cam this year. That might be the most instructive one we've had all season. Leads to a go-ahead goal here for GBN with 13:50 to go in the second.
And Max, I've talked about it all the time on broadcast throughout this year. This shift right here is so big for the rest of the game. Duke's really looking strong right now in a comeback shift, putting the pressure back on GBN.
Sandler trying to chip it out, but kept in at the blue line, quite giving pressure. Here's Peifel. Eventually comes free to Henriksen. Trying to fire it down ice, but Anderson knocks it down. He'll drop it in and go for a change. This York team was maybe the hottest team in the state in the month of January. I believe rattled off 7 straight wins in the SHL. I know Dylan can check me on that.
Yeah, they ended the regular season with 8 wins in their final 10 games, including a 7-game winning streak, as you mentioned, on that run.
He is the czar of SHL stats. That's Dylan Ward. It's always good when I can match it.
Guys, now with Jacob Smith scoring there for GBN, Smiths are wild, as we've got Benjamin Smith and Jacob Smith on the board tonight on different teams.
And we've got Anderson down on the ice. Always appreciate my namesake down there for York. Here's a puck coming free to Sohn, trying to get a shot towards net. Turns, fires, Raderman knocks it aside. Jenin coming back to support for the Spartans.
Real tough save there for Raderman. Turnaround shots. Very difficult for a goaltender to be able to track.
Henriksen jumping up from his defensive spot, centering. Kazmarek sticks it to the glass behind him. Wilson back at the point now, winds up. He's going to go a hard pass off the boards. Doesn't quite get it to Jenin where he wanted it. Getting a piece is Sanfilippo. Raderman has to play it. Ice has opened up here a little bit. That's going to benefit GBN as we move along. Cyphers with the puck. GBN getting 3 fresh bodies on the ice. Late arriving. Dimoff trying to keep it going, but just chipped out by Sanfilippo.
Looks like we're going to get offsides.
Now Moore and Dimoff still tangled up. Linesman coming the way of that. 12:10 to go in the third period. Just a reminder, folks, what's at stake here tonight. The winner of this game will take on GBS at Glenview tomorrow night at 7:40. I know the GBS. Are we still the GBS radio network, Dylan? What are you running over there in Glenview?
Sorry, Max, what was that?
I was just plugging the broadcast for tomorrow night that the winner of this one's going to take on GBS, and of course you'll be on the call for GBS. Here's a shot. Raderman able to swallow it quick. Whistle. As that almost got a game-time goal for York, but that'll be live, I believe, at 7:40 p.m. tomorrow night at Glenview. Is that right, Dylan?
Yeah, that's right. And, you know, with GBN in the lead here, you kind of start to wonder maybe a north-south rivalry in that semifinals that would sit nicely beside Loyola and New Trier on the other end of the bracket.
I was just going to say, if there wasn't a more natural fit, but I can tell you one thing right now, talking to Matt Boeing before the game, they really want to get out of this first round. They think they are the better team. They want to win this game, and they want to take it to GBS.
And that's another thing about playing tomorrow night is, you know, these guys are going to be right back at it, and they're already getting pretty tired here.
I would not speak too soon with GBN winning this game. We still got a long way to go in this one, and most definitely anything can happen. The way both these teams have been playing as well.
York certainly had the better of a lot of the offensive play here tonight. It was Raderman just gets enough to not let that get by him, but typical to a GBN script. This shot deflects up high off the glass into the netting and out, but typical of the GBN script, they scored the first goal on a delayed penalty and the second goal in the power play. That is often the formula for this GBN team.
It's been the formula for many years, and it's led them to lots of success. As also really strong defensively, historically, has GBN been throughout the times of Evan Polakidis running as the head man for the GBN bench. And if they can hold this defense strong here, you can hope for them that they can keep this 2-1 lead or maybe expand upon it. But after that second goal was scored for GBN, York's really put a lot more pressure on GBN.
Yeah, you've certainly seen the response from the Dukes over the last couple of minutes. Here's Colantonio trying to stick handle around a couple of guys, not able to get past a third. Matthew Moore trying to play it ahead. Colantonio could have been offsides, but we get a wave. Maurer now just going to swipe it in deep into the zone with 10:50 to go in the third. Nicosia on the near half wall. Comes free to Colantonio. Smith all over him, gets it now back to Rosa at the near point. Knocked down by Jenin and chipped out, deflected by Jacob Smith.
Max, it's almost like any time Nicosia has the puck, something good happens for York so far this game.
He is that spark plug player for this York team. Is taken down as he made his way to the net was Maurer. York's bench wanted a penalty. They're not going to get it. Sandler with some space in transition. Here's Ryan Sandler. Shoots, just misses the far post. And chips it out into the neutral zone. Wilson's going to drop it in deep.
Max, you mentioned earlier, ice has really opened up in this third period so far.
That's the kind of game that GBN wants to see. York did a really good job, Andrew, in that first period of really taking away time and space, really controlling the game. The more this game opens up, I think the more it favors GBN.
Spot on with that, Max. Couldn't agree more.
Here's a shot out of the glove of Kazmarek. He's able to use that stick to scoop it back into his glove with 9:44 to go in the third period.
Matchups now so important. I mentioned earlier, York has that last change advantage where they get to dictate the matchups that they want for these last 9 minutes to try to get that game-tying goal. They know what players they want to have on the ice and the situations that give them the best chance to score a goal.
Face-off draw to the right of Kazmarek. One cleanly by Macinter. Here's Wilson. Too hot of a pass to Sandler, and York's going to be able to come back the other way. Here's Pfeiffer. Has Coit coming down the slot, but couldn't get it to him. Macinter able to force it out for the Spartans. going to be offside. Not necessarily sure why. It was played by GBN. That's the second or third time tonight we've seen really, frankly, errant offsides calls that haven't been the close ones where the offensive team's coming up the ice and the guy comes in just a little bit early. I'm not sure why we got a whistle there.
I couldn't tell if Anderson on York got a stick on that puck. He was outside of the zone, but the puck was inside of the zone, and there were still York players inside.
So, frankly, a huge break is a big hit by Wilson. He puts Pfeiffer into the ice. And that was a break for York because GBN was on the break if that whistle doesn't happen. Puck falls to Rafalowski. His shot corralled by Kazmarek.
What a collision there from Noah Wilson. He lined up that York player, and we're going to get a replay of it right here. Just a tough pass for, I think that was Tyler Pfeiffer to receive, and Noah Wilson, one of the hardest hitting players in this league, put a hurting on him right there and instantly created a chance for GBN as well.
Face off, Steiner's able to get possession off it for GBN in the offensive zone. Takes it below the goal as Rossi back at the point. That's where he gets the puck, is 11 in green. Shot finds its way all the way through traffic. Kicked aside by Kazmarek.
Max, GBN's done a much improved job on face-offs. Dukes came out real strong on face-offs.
Backdoor chance, Steiner just couldn't get a shot off. And now he's pushed down into the ice in the corner by Rosa. Steiner and Rosa still going at it. And finally, Rosa's able to take it away for York. Here's Smith in transition, right back to Rosa with speed. Rosa fires a shot. Raderman deflects it aside. 8:28 to go in the third period. One of these teams will have their SHL season ended and will just have a high state playoffs left. The other has a rested GBS team waiting for them tomorrow night at Glenview Ice Arena. Here's Rosa's shot, kicked aside by Raderman.
Max, I think Connor Steiner got away with a trip earlier in this shift.
Here's Siegel with speed. Dimoff trying to catch up to it as well. And cleared by York all the way down ice. That's going to be icing against the Dukes. So GBN's going to get an offensive zone draw with 7:56 to go.
I'm sorry, Dylan, go ahead.
I was just going to say we've alluded to it a couple times now. Winner of this game goes to play GBS in the semifinals. I know that the team is having a team dinner night right now, and they've got all eyes on the screen watching the SHL network, watching this game right now.
Fellas, congratulations on making the semifinals. Hope you got your notebooks out there at the team dinner. Although I'm sure they'll say that they know these two teams quite well. Not a whole lot more scouting goes on at this point in the season. Here's a shot, awkward there, as I believe it was Katsumaka's stick. Should be a high stick as Cole Antonio whacked Josh Jenin in the face. We don't get a call. Huge break for York. That should have been a penalty.
I mentioned how Connor Steiner got away with the penalty earlier. The referees are really letting this game be played right now. We've seen lots of guys get taken down so far in this third period. They're letting the players decide it out.
There's letting it play, and then there's a blatant high stick that looked like was right in front of the referee that just went uncalled. Jenin trying to play forward. Schoenberg prides it free. Here's Owen Just. Just tries to drag around Curry, but couldn't. Keeping it at the point is Smith. Smith is tripped, deflected in front. Just trying to get it past Kazmarek. Couldn't get it to go. Now turned over is Jacob Smith. A heady play there. He played a game of chicken with Eli Maurer, and he won. Schoenberg trying to get it through the slot to Jenin. Can't get it. Now, Avi Schoenberg again. A huge hit as he gets sandwiched between two Dukes. The hitting really picking up here in the last 5 minutes. Katsumaka skating, trying to get past two York Dukes. He can't. Sandler coming to support.
A lot of stick handling right now from both teams, seeing lots of turnovers.
And some tired bodies as well. Henriksen trying to fire the puck deep. Instead, he fires it into the bench. So GBN needed to get some fresh bodies on the ice, but they were hoping to just get the puck deep and keep the play going because they've really had the momentum here over the last couple of minutes.
You get a replay there. Owen Just with a hit. Looked like it went through the board, through the door to the bench there, and then we see the hit put on Schoenberg as well.
That awkward kind of ping-pong hit there as he initially got hit one way and then had his body twisted the other. 6:13 left to go in the third period, and you can just feel the intensity of this game picking up.
York has to be really happy, too, with GBN still trying to make those stick handle plays. With 6 minutes to go, you'd expect GBN to be content with getting that puck deep, but York, if they can keep forcing turnovers, are going to get counterattacks really easily.
Rosa fires in. Raderman deflects it high. Centering pass. Following is Coit, but Rafalowski there just in time to disrupt. Here's Macinter in transition. Macinter has the puck taken off his stick, bouncing around the blue line. Rafalowski has to retreat out. A hard pass off the boards to Coit, but he's sandwiched at the blue line. Rafalowski trying to dig the puck out. Eventually it's Henriksen. Cross ice to Macinter. Gets it on to Rafalowski. He can't get a shot off, following Sandler. And has the puck taken off his stick, here's Coit. Coit up the far wing. Loses the puck as he tries a stick handle move. Macinter carries it out.
GBN really stick handling the puck too much right now. Needs to just live to fight another game, look to get pucks deep. But if you're York, keep forcing these turnovers.
P-Tac putting pressure on Henriksen. Henriksen gets it deep. Bunch of fresh bodies on the ice for the Spartans. Booth, right at his, in front of his own bench, able to chip it out. Comes to Siegel.
You heard the voice of Evan Polakidis there when Aiden Siegel got that puck. A real loud deep.
I think you obviously played for Evan Polakidis for years and could tell by the way you were describing some of the stick handling. At this point in the game, in a playoff game at 2-1, you just got to get the puck deep at that point.
Yeah, it's not about scoring another goal if you're GBN. Yes, you would like another goal, but you really have to protect that one-goal lead right now at all costs.
And an icing call looked like a deflection at center ice. That's certainly what GBN's bench is claiming. That's what I thought I saw as well. But a break here for York because they're going to get an offensive zone draw.
You see GBN immediately put out Connor Katsamakis and Jacob Smith, and Matt Bowen's going to counter with his top line of Frank Nicosia, Eli Maurer, and Charles Colantonio.
Guys, York has been dominating in shots on goal, but in this period, 6-6, a little bit more even, for a total of 36-22 in favor of York.
Yeah, when GBN went through a bit of a midseason run, it was really about their defensive game. There's never an issue as we're going to get a penalty. Something happened behind the play. Dylan, I think that was probably right in line with you. Did you see what happened there?
Guys, I was following the puck just like you. I didn't catch that one. I'll look at the score sheet, though.
It's going to be Aiden Siegel called for interference. It was something behind the play. Curious if any of our cameras were able to pick that up. But a huge moment in the game here is York with 4:16 to go in the third period is going to head to the power play where Dylan detailed their success this season against GBN earlier. They're having their way with this GBN penalty kill, and they need one now in the biggest moment.
They moved the puck really well previously on that last power play with their set plays.
Nicosia and Rosa exchange. Nicosia chips it towards net. Below the goal line is Moore. 4:06 to go in the third period. Huge moment here in the SHL playoffs. P-Tac right back to Rosa. Rosa, he shoots, gets a deflection, but couldn't get it on net. Maurer follows for York. P-Tac side of the net, and that's going to be played by high stick, and a huge break for GBN as that puck's going to come all the way into the York zone for an offensive zone draw for GBN.
Nico P-Tac goes palms up. There were two sticks jousting at that puck. We'll see if we can get a look who touched it.
Hard to see, just hard to see there, but you got to defer to the referee who is right in front of it. So now with 1:37 left on York's power play, they're going to start all the way in their own end.
Guys, I believe that was Eli Maurer that touched the puck with a high stick.
That's a good pickup, Dylan, as Noah Macinter got a shot off right off that face-off in the York zone.
Nicosia with a nice move in the neutral zone, gets the puck deep to P-Tac. Nicosia right back. That's a heck of a defensive matchup between him and Katsamakis. Comes to the slot. Sandler deflects it away from danger. Macinter with immediate pressure. Here's P-Tac near circle. Katsamakis is going to commit a penalty. That's a holding penalty against Connor Katsamakis. Extra attacker now on the ice. Deflected just over the net. York's going to get a 5-on-3. They got to let GBN touch the puck. They do. It's going to be a full minute of 5-on-3.
And Max, if you're a GBN fan or if you watch Game 2 of the series, you're having deja vu as I think for 2 minutes, York had a 5-on-3 to end that game, Game 2, and finish off again on another power play. I know GBN took a 4-minute penalty. It looks like we also got a misconduct called.
Yeah, Andrew, you're exactly right. They did have to kill that two-man advantage at the end, and York actually found a goal in all of that, and that's what made it a 2-1 final score. Raderman was on his way to a shutout, so not going to be surprised at all here if Matt Bowen goes with the empty net.
So we got a timeout. I didn't catch which side took it. I would assume it's GBN here to settle things down, as they're going to be short-handed 5-on-3 with 3:16 left to go in the game. 2 minutes, the penalty. A misconduct. Was it you, Andrew, or Dylan that spotted a misconduct? I did not see that myself.
When the referee went to the scorer's table, I saw a misconduct sign. Maybe we can check the score sheet to see what happened.
Yeah, guys, on my end here, they haven't put anything up on game sheet as
You
of
see the
yet.
door getting opened again with 2 GBN players, so I think that signals that they're going to need somebody to serve a penalty for GBN.
I just can't imagine. I mean, it had to have been something after the penalty. It could. I mean, it was a pretty standard holding. It had to have been something after the penalty. It had to have been something that was said, because fortunately, unlike the MLB, we don't have a mic'd up referee where they could explain it to us.
Guys just chiming in. Kazmarek will stay in his net for this face-off. Keep an eye on him down there.
Oh, I wouldn't imagine they pull him at any point during this 5-on-3. You have the complete advantage here with 3:16 left to go in the third period. This a massive moment in this game. 5-on-3, York with by far their best chance to tie this game up. Huge face-off win by P-Tech. Gets it back to Rosa. Here's Nicosia. Drops it below, one-timer Maurer. Now backdoor P-Tech, and saved either by Raderman or the stick of Smith.
Nicosia is slow to get up. He's going to the bench for a change.
Something happened with Frank Nicosia, and that's a huge loss for York as they are at 5-on-3. Here's Camposano hustling on to get into the offensive play. Centering pass knocked down by Smith. He gets it, and he'll clear it all the way down ice. 30 to go, 5-on-3.
Big-time play there from Jacob Smith to intercept that pass and clear the puck down.
2:44 to go in the third period. Here's Rosa. Rosa skates. Blocked shot by Smith. That's his third blocked shot just in the last 30 seconds. Camposano gets it back at the point. He skates forward in the high slot. Shoots. He scores! Nicholas Camposano ties the game with 2:30 to go. And they still have another minute 14 on the power play.
You alluded to it, Max. York is going to remain on the power play, and Nicholas Camposano picks up this puck, and he's got all sorts of space in front of him. Nobody from GBN goes to pressure him, and he just walks in from the blue line to about the top of the circles and beats Michael Raderman to the upper left-hand corner.
Camposano had all the space in the world. That's a moment you dream of as a hockey player in a big playoff game, and he absolutely buries it for the Dukes. 2-2 our score. You thought you were getting out of here without some drama. You are dead wrong.
And guys, I could be wrong on this, but I believe Camposano is the player that came racing into the play to replace Nicosia as well.
You are absolutely correct. That is who came on the ice, and looks like trying to find Nicosia on the bench.
He's right.
No,
Just
excuse
at
me,
the
he's
puck,
on the ice. Good catch, Andrew. Thank you. Minute 2 left on the power play. 2:18 in the game for GBN, and a period that you really felt like GBN was controlling. We talked about it. It was even in shots, but in terms of favorite play, it really felt like GBN for most of this third.
Yeah, end of that second, most of this third period, GBN's controlled the play, but those 2 penalties, just such killers, really have flipped this game on its head, and York with a grand opportunity to take a lead here.
Another big face-off win. Rosa has his shot blocked by Misinter, so that'll waste a few seconds.
Also, something to take note of, I believe Connor Katsamakis got that misconduct penalty, so he's going to be out
Defensively,
for
that's
10
massive.
minutes. Yes.
Wilson pinning against the glass. Now more below the goal. Owen just all the way behind his goal line, trying to get it for his Spartans. Here's Rosa. A hush comes over the crowd as this shot deflects just wide. This is as quiet as it's been all night. You can feel the tension in the building now that we're at 2-2. Here's Nicosia, battle in front of the net. Henriksen trying to clear out more. Henriksen uses his body brilliantly and clears it. Excellent play by Brady Henriksen.
Strong play from both GBN defensemen, as you mentioned, especially Brady Henriksen, able to clear that puck, and one last rush on the power play for York.
Here's Nicosia with speed, skates wide. Henriksen steers him below the goal. Peifel Nicosia looking for an angle, chips it out front. Shot by Rosa, just deflects wide.
Both teams at full strength.
Back to full strength, 5-on-5, minute 5 to go in the period. Here's Smith trying to chip it out, finally gets it past Coit. Looks like this is going to be an icing. No, it's going to fall short. Dimoff catches it, trying to get it across. Rosa deflects the puck and just falls on it.
That should be a delay game penalty. He's purposely covering that puck there.
And that, a big hit against the boards. This GBN faithful getting really restless to our left. I think there should have been a couple of penalties here over the last 15 seconds. 30 to go in the third. Trying to clear, but turned over. Here's Rossi. Winds up. Blocked shot by Curry. Again, here's Smith. He shoots. Just misses the top right shelf. Rossi follows, shoots. Good save by Kazmarek, kicking it to the corner. 20 seconds to go. Side of the net, trying to center. It's Kane. Rossi pinches in. Here's Schoenberg. Rifles it towards net. Gets knocked down. 8 seconds to go. Dimoff centering pass off the side of the net. Schoenberg side of the net. Kazmarek drops his glove on it. And we get a whistle with 1.5 to go here in the third period. My goodness.
Whew, Max, I'm getting goosebumps up here in the booth. I don't know about you. As it looks like we still got a scrum going on a little bit in front of the net. As it looks like the linesman ended up taking a tumble as you're seeing players hunched over right now. How many players have we seen left the ice briefly injured to come back on the ice to make plays for their team? Max, this is everything what playoff hockey and Illinois high school hockey is all about.
And if you're wondering, folks, 1.5 seconds to go. We will go to OT, but OT in the SHL playoffs works a little bit different. We have no shootout. We will play till somebody scores. If I recall, it's first 10 minutes, 5-on-5. Next, until the game ends, 3-on-3. Dylan, can you check me on that?
You're 100% correct. I know that, Max. I had
you
the luxury
played it.
of
There
playing
you
in a
go.
game. I can't think of another one that went to 3-on-3 overtime. Maybe did St. Viator or Loyola last year go to overtime?
Yeah, last season, game 1, and that's where Grady passed to Gustafson for that incredible goal.
That was, I remember that vividly.
Those are the only two games I can remember to go to a double overtime in game 3.
So York just doing everything they can in the final 1.5 just to get their bodies in the way, and we will head to overtime.
This will be the third overtime game of these SHL playoffs. The first two were both in the GBS St. Viator series, a 2-1 win and a 1-0 win for GBS. This one all knotted up at 2, and for this one here in game 3, it's not just next goal wins the game. Next goal is going to the SHL semifinals.
And you got to think that those Glenbrook South Titans watching this game are kicking their feet up and say, boys, have at it in overtime. Skate till you drop. We'll be waiting for you tomorrow night.
Yeah, they're probably hoping for some quintuple overtime, especially with the 3-on-3.
Max, I think it's only fitting. We mentioned earlier every game has the winning team has only allowed 1 goal or fewer. This being the last game of the first round, perfectly fitting that is what breaks that streak of 1 goal or less for the winner. And of course it goes to overtime as well, just to add to the drama that we have here, as both teams are going to change sides, make it the period with the long change as the second period. So important here in overtime. You see it more important in 3-on-3 overtime as in 5-on-5, but still just so important in games like this. A bad change can lead to a team's beneficiary or be.
Yeah, and guys, don't forget, these are two teams that lost in the SHL quarterfinals last season, GBN to Loyola Gold, York to St. Viator. So they both have that sour taste in their mouth still. One of them is going to get it all over again. One of them is going to move on.
10 minutes up on the clock. We'll stay 5-on-5 for this first 10-minute period. Should it last longer than that, we'll head to 3-on-3 until somebody scores a goal. This is what playoff hockey, elimination hockey is all about right here on the SHL network.
And Max, we got no Frank Nicosia, we got no Owen Just, no Michael Dimoff, no Aiden Siegel on the ice to start this overtime period.
You've been highlighting those matchups here in the third period. Something to continue to watch for both teams. Booth chips it back to Smith. Smith ties up the stick of Booth, not letting him get much farther in near circle. Here's Benjamin Smith. Drops it for P-Tac. P-Tac's looking for Booth the other side. Jacob Smith trying to rifle it around the boards and out, not able to get it all the way out. P-Tech centering pass. Ooh, that went off the skate or pad of Raderman. Awkward as this pass off the boards of Rafalowski. His shot blocked by Moore.
Max, they say it all the time, there's no such thing as a bad shot in overtime.
Here's Rafalowski lifting the stick, trying to win the puck. Instead, it's P-Tech with good support of the puck, able to get it for the Dukes. This comes back into the neutral zone to Smith. Again, that hush, uneasy tension settles over the crowd here in OT. Owen just with a quick move around one defender, close to offsides. He stayed on. Will go behind the net. Wrap attempt. Puck still loose. Fouled by Dimoff. He couldn't get a shot off. Now Nicosia's trying to lead the break for York. Not able to, and GBN will just drop it deep.
York had a chance for a rush, but that puck just bounced away from Colantonio too far.
Awkward bounce almost leads to an odd man chance for GBN. Instead, here's Colantonio in transition around one man. Raderman able to swipe it to the far half wall.
See it again, that puck just too far in front of Colantonio.
Space for Maurer. He shoots. Raderman kicks it aside. Nicosia top of the circle, but it was on his backhand. Now it just turned over inexplicably there by Adinin. Just able to get it far half wall and gets it out to Dimoff. Dimoff couldn't handle it as he had some speed and space for the neutral zone. Camposano pinned against the scorer's booth. Eventually Nicosia on the back end, spins, fires, almost turns it over. Dangerous pass there from the captain for York. Here's Curry, a lot of speed and space as GBN slowing a change. Don't forget here in the first OT, it's a long change for both teams. Curry looking for an outlet, passes to Anderson, blocked by Justin, kicked out of the zone. York's got to retreat back to center ice.
Better of the play so far has been for York. They've done a better job possessing this puck so far in overtime. Going back to that first period also, their pressure on GBN getting a lot better.
Owen just to Schoenberg. Goes through his stick. Shot from Jenin. Deflects up into the netting. Will be an offensive zone draw coming for GBN.
Guys, it might be a little quieter in here at this point in the game, but if you look over to your right, all of the York students that are in the bleachers have now risen to their feet, and a pretty nice crowd for York in terms of the students now standing with anticipation.
Yeah, this ended up being a very, very nice crowd. It was funny, just a couple minutes before game, there was nobody in the rink because, of course, they're all out in the bar right next door here at York. Fouled in, and it's a pretty close to capacity crowd here at Addison Ice Arena. OT hockey, here's Jacob Smith. His shot, he scores! Jacob Smith at OT sends GBN to the semifinals!
Max, this play starts right off of a faceoff. Connor Steiner busting his butt to force that turnover. The puck finds Avi Schoenberg, who just sees Jacob Smith creeping into that high slot. And Jacob Smith gets that puck and makes no mistake with it, with another perfect shot to beat Adam Kazmarek to send GBN to the SHL semifinals. What a game.
We challenged this league, these teams, these players, all the great moments we've had throughout the regular season. Who could make more moments? And tonight, it was all Jacob Smith. What a game from number 4 in black for GBN. And they've got a date with Glenbrook South tomorrow night. You see the replay. Smith buries the wrister. And for York, their SHL season is over. Their attention will turn to the state playoffs. What an absolutely incredible game. The effort by York in the third period to get that game tied, to get us to overtime. And it only took 3 minutes and 4 seconds to end it. GBN will advance. Dylan Ward's down on the ice. I'm sure he'll get some happy humans on the Glenbrook north side.
And Max, let's not forget Jacob Smith left the ice in severe discomfort earlier in the game, comes back scoring 2 goals, including the overtime winner. I mentioned earlier, what a game, just an all-out battle by both teams. You see right now in the handshake line the utmost respect they have. pleasure to get to watch this game and get to call it, Max. Utterly speechless from me.
So Dylan Ward's down on ice level where he's standing by with the game-winning goal scorer, and Michael Raderman gives him a big hug.
Yeah, you said it, guys. I'm down here with Jacobs with Michael Raderman. An absolutely unbelievable night. It's going to start with that, actually. He got 40-plus saves in that victory. Such a big key in this first round. What's so great about Raderman in net?
So unreal. We've had doubters the whole year chirping us, our goaltending, our play. Everyone saying we're getting swept by York, but this kid Rader, youngest kid in the team, sophomore, everyone else juniors and seniors, he showed out for us. Last 2 games he played unreal. That kid's the reason why we're going to the next round.
You get 2 goals in this one, obviously the OT winner. What a moment for you. Walk me through the play.
I saw our guy cycle the puck, and I saw Avi. He came out. I had to see him. I called for him. Great pass, awesome pass, and I just shot it far side. I think it got tipped maybe, I don't know, and just went in. But I just want to say we've had so many doubters, and this team, we're still dancing here. Hey, we'll see South in the next round. We love it. We love it. We're here. We're ready to win.
Well, enjoy it, and we'll see you back on the ice tomorrow night. Thanks so much. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Dylan. Jacob Smith with just an incredible game, and of course, maybe not in this position without the Schmidt goaltending save of the game. You just saw it there again. Michael Raderman with an absolutely incredible push post to post back in that second period. That is our Schmidt goaltending save of the game. And Michael Raderman, again, 40 saves here again tonight. You talk about a playoff goalie getting it done. We're going to send it back down to ice where Dylan Ward has Evan Polakidis. Dylan, go ahead.
Thanks, guys. Coach, obviously some great emotions out of your team here. Winning this game with the sudden death goal in overtime, knowing your series is on the line. To get it done, what are you feeling right now?
Really, what I'm feeling is relieved, and, I had a lot of anger at the end of the game the way we took some really foolish penalties, but, they persevered and got through it, and congrats to them. But, we got to be smarter than that, really. That's just got to be smarter.
You guys have a quick turnaround. Semifinal start tomorrow night against your rival. What are you looking for in that matchup against Glenbrook South?
I'm expecting a jam-packed place and a lot of energy, and we'll be ready to play. It's a quick turnaround, but we'll be ready.
All right, thanks so much, Coach. Enjoy this win. Guys.
Another look at the game-winning goal from Jacob Smith, who sends his team into the semifinals. Final thoughts, Andrew?
For as amazing as this game is, I think it's just an appetizer for what we have here to come the rest of these Scholastic Hockey League playoffs and into the state playoffs. Cannot be more excited, Max.
That will do it for us here from Addison Ice Arena. Of course, always got to thank our great crew, our all-star crew. Great to have Jimmy the Wiz Olsen back at the controls, getting it done as he always does. The great graphics, replays, and all the rest. You guys see the difference it makes when he's on the broadcast. Of course, Patrick Loftus, always great to have him on the crew. Joel Schneider, talk about adding value. Joel Schneider always does such a great job when he jumps on our camera crew as well. Big thank you to him for joining the crew. Dylan Ward down on ice level. Of course, Andrew Rubin to my left. I am Max Anderson. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll have more SHL playoff hockey. Stay tuned to the SHL Network Instagram account, Twitter, and website. You better believe we're going to have some of these semifinal matchups, so stay tuned. But that will do it for us here tonight. Once again, the final, Glenbrook North advances a 3-2 final here from Addison Ice Arena. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll talk to you down the line. Have a great evening here on your Friday night.